Before the quiet of night wraps its arms around you, before the world grows silent and the moon takes her place as queen of the sky, there are things you must know, things you must hear and hold close to your spirit like a sacred prayer whispered through trembling lips. My dear, there are forces that move in the darkness, forces that cannot be seen by the naked eye, but are felt deep in the marrow of the bones, like a chill that drips slowly down your spine, like a shadow stretching toward you though no light is near. There are doors that can be opened without you knowing, doors that swing wide in the realm of the unseen simply because of what you choose to wear, what you wrap around your body when the world grows dark and the veil between the physical and spiritual thins. I say this not to frighten you, but to awaken you, to shake the slumber from your soul so you may walk in wisdom and not in ignorance, for ignorance is the feast on which darkness dines. You see, the night is not just absence of light, it is a realm of its own, alive with both wonder and danger. The night holds secrets, and those secrets whisper to those who are willing to listen. Some find comfort in the night, curling into it like a child curls into the arms of their mother, but others find torment because they have unknowingly invited things into their midst that were never meant to be given a home. And it begins so small, so subtle, like a quiet seed planted in the soil of your choices, a necklace glimmering under the pale light of the moon, a shirt stitched with symbols you do not understand, a piece of jewelry passed down through generations, carrying with it not just memories, but spirits that cling like ivy to the very fabric of the thing. What you wear is not always just fabric and thread, my love. It can be a vessel, a signal, a door left ajar for dark spirits seeking a place to rest, a body to whisper into, a mind to cloud with confusion and despair. There are garments drenched not only in dye but in energy, in intention. Some are crafted by hands that do not wish you well, hands that have been trained in arts you dare not play with, crafts that call upon forces far older and far darker than you can imagine. And when you place these garments on your body, especially under the cover of night when the spiritual realm is at its loudest, you become a beacon. Spirits are like moths drawn to the flame of what resonates with them. If you are covered in a garment stitched with malice, with curses, with hidden meanings, you will glow in the darkness like a lighthouse calling ships. But these are not ships bringing safety, these are ships bringing storms. This is why you must be vigilant. This is why you must not blindly trust what you adorn yourself with, especially in the sacred hours when the world slumbers and spirits roam freely. Ah, child, there are some who laugh at this, who say, "It is only cloth, it is only fashion." But the spiritual realm does not care for your laughter. It does not care for your ignorance. The darkness is patient, waiting like a predator in tall grass, silent until the perfect moment to strike. Think of how many people wake with heavy hearts, plagued by nightmares, drenched in sweat from visions they cannot explain. They toss and turn through the night, waking tired, confused, broken, and they never consider that the cause may be wrapped around their very body, cradling them like a serpent as they sleep. You must understand, the night is a time when your soul is most open, when your spirit travels and dreams become doorways. If you lie wrapped in the wrong things, you invite trouble into places that were meant to be holy. Let me tell you something that will set you free if you let it take root in your spirit. Darkness thrives in what goes unnoticed. Demons delight in what you dismiss. When you tell yourself it's just a shirt or it's just jewelry, they smile because they know you have just given them the very cover they need to move freely in your life. There are certain colors, certain fabrics, certain symbols that call to darkness like a song, and when you wear them under the blanket of night, you are not simply wearing them, you are agreeing with them. And agreement, whether spoken or unspoken, is a powerful thing. The enemy cannot take what you do not give, but oh how clever he is at getting you to give without knowing it. This is why discernment is your greatest weapon. You must learn to see beyond the physical, to feel when something is not right. Your spirit always knows, that stirring in your gut, that unease you cannot explain. It is not paranoia, it is warning. Do not silence it. Do not ignore it. For when you ignore the whisper, you invite the storm. Many times, people are carrying curses that are not theirs, simply because they are carrying objects that do not belong to them in the spiritual sense. There are clothes bought secondhand that still hold the energy of the previous owner's pain, anger, or addiction. There are bracelets and necklaces given as gifts that were prayed over with wicked intentions before they ever touched your skin. There are symbols hidden in patterns and logos that were designed with spiritual meanings, ancient and dark. When you put these things on, you are not simply accessorizing, you are aligning. And at night, when you lie down and your body rests but your spirit remains active, those alignments speak, they draw, they invite, they open. I have seen too many lives disrupted because someone did not understand this truth. A woman who could not sleep through the night, tormented by shadows in the corner of her room, only to discover that the scarf she wore to bed had been used in rituals generations before. A young man plagued by violent dreams, waking each morning with bruises he could not explain, until the day he burned the pendant given to him by a so-called friend, and peace finally returned to his nights. These stories are not tales meant to scare, they are warnings carved in flesh and bone. You must understand the physical and spiritual are intertwined. What touches your body touches your soul. What you wear is not just an expression of style, it is a declaration, and in the unseen realm, declarations carry weight. So, my beloved, do not wear what carries darkness. Do not wrap yourself in what is cursed. Do not adorn your body with what whispers lies into the night. If you are unsure about a garment or an object, pray over it. Speak light into it. There is power in the words you speak, power in the name of the Most High. Say, if there is anything in this knot of the light, it must leave. And if the unease remains, do not keep it. Do not reason with it. Remove it from your life completely. Burn it if you must, for some things cannot simply be thrown away. They must be destroyed so they no longer have a hold over you. When you honor your body as a temple, when you protect the sacredness of your spirit, the darkness loses its grip. But it begins with awareness. It begins with choice. I urge you to be mindful of the colors you wear at night. Deep reds and blacks, while not evil in themselves, can act as amplifiers when combined with certain energies. Be wary of symbols you do not fully understand. Pentagrams, strange letters, intricate shapes that seem harmless but are in fact spiritual languages of old. Some brands and designers craft patterns with intentional occult meanings, hiding their allegiance in plain sight, knowing that most will never notice. And when you wear these symbols, you become a walking altar to what they represent. This is why ignorance is so dangerous. What you do not know can still harm you. Light is not just about what you see, it is about what you understand. The night is a time when your spirit longs to be at peace, to be restored, to connect with the divine. It is meant to be holy, it is meant to be sacred. When you go to bed, it should be as though you are stepping into a sanctuary, not a battlefield. But too many are sleeping in battlegrounds without even realizing it, and they wonder why they wake up wounded. They wonder why depression clings to them like a second skin, why anxiety gnaws at their bones, why they feel heavy though they slept for hours. Darkness is a thief. It will steal your peace, your joy, your dreams if you allow it. But you are not powerless. No, my dear, you are not helpless. You are a child of light, and light cannot be overcome by darkness. It is simply a matter of standing in your authority and refusing to open doors that were meant to stay shut. Tonight, when you prepare for sleep, do it with intention. Lay aside anything that feels heavy, anything that stirs unease. Cleanse your space with prayer, with words of light and love. Speak blessings over your bed, your room, your very breath. And most importantly, clothe yourself not just in fabric but in faith. Wear garments that have been prayed over, garments chosen with care and discernment. Cover your mind and your heart with the truth that you are protected, that you are beloved, that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. For when you walk in this truth, no spirit, no darkness, no shadow can touch you. Remember this: what you wear is not just about appearance. It is about alignment. It is about agreement. And in the quiet hours of the night, when your body rests and your soul drifts between worlds, what you have chosen to wrap yourself in can either shield you or expose you. Choose wisely, my love. Choose light. Choose life. And when the dawn breaks, when the first rays of morning spill across the sky, you will rise whole, unbroken, unafraid, because you will know that you have walked through the night not as prey, but as a warrior of light, clothed in wisdom and power. And let me tell you, my beloved, the darkness will not surrender easily. It will test you. It will send whispers into your ears like a lover speaking lies, trying to convince you that none of this matters, that you are foolish to even consider it. It will mock your discernment, telling you that you are paranoid, that you are imagining things, that you are bound by superstition and not reality. But understand this: the enemy always hides behind mockery, because mockery is the mask worn by fear. If the darkness can laugh you into silence, if it can shame you into disbelief, it wins without ever having to fight. It is subtle, cunning, and ancient. It knows that the moment you awaken to its tactics, its power begins to crumble. That is why you must hold fast to the truth, even when the world calls you crazy, even when friends roll their eyes, even when family dismisses your warnings. The truth does not need validation to be true. Light does not require applause to shine. It simply is. There are those who have lived their entire lives under spiritual bondage and do not even realize it because they have normalized their suffering. They think nightmares are just a part of life. They believe insomnia is simply stress. They explain away the heaviness that greets them each morning as mere exhaustion, never suspecting that the very clothes they sleep in, the very objects surrounding them, are carrying darkness into their most vulnerable hours. Imagine, my dear, being at war every night and never knowing you are a soldier. Imagine waking up wounded but never questioning who shot the arrow. That is how so many live. But you are being called to something higher. You are being called to wake up, to see clearly, to fight with knowledge and power. For once you know, you can no longer unknow. Once you see, you can no longer unsee. And when you choose to act, you do not just save yourself, you become a light for others stumbling through the dark. The things you wear have stories. Do you hear me? They have histories. That ring you wear on your finger may have once been given in love, or it may have been soaked in heartbreak and rage. That shirt hanging in your closet may have been stitched in a place where pain and oppression were woven into every thread. And those energies, whether you acknowledge them or not, cling. Energy does not die. It lingers, waiting for a host, waiting for someone to carry it forward. When you wear these things, you are not just adorning your body, you are becoming a vessel for their story. The question is, whose story are you carrying? Whose pain are you wearing like a second skin? This is why it matters, my dear. This is why the unseen cannot be ignored. The garments you place on your body are not silent. they speak. And at night, when the veil between worlds grows thin, their voices grow louder, summoning what they are aligned with. I have seen mothers weep because their children cry out in their sleep. Chased by terrors no one else can see, I have watched strong men crumble because they could not bear another night of shadowy figures looming near their bed. And time and again, when the root is uncovered, it is traced back to objects allowed into their lives without discernment. Clothes, jewelry, symbols, heirlooms passed down without prayer or cleansing. Do you understand the tragedy of this? Entire households suffer because of something as simple as a pendant hanging on a chain, a blanket stitched by hands that invoke spirits while they worked. This is why I say to you, do not underestimate the small things. The enemy hides in the small things. He knows you will look for a roaring lion, so he comes instead as a whisper, as a gift, as something beautiful and seemingly harmless. But beauty without light is a trap, and traps are always disguised. There is a reason sacred texts speak of garments of righteousness, of being clothed in truth and light. What you wear outwardly reflects what you are cultivating inwardly. If you cover yourself with darkness, even unknowingly, you create a dissonance between your spirit and your body, and that dissonance breeds confusion. Confusion is the enemy's favorite weapon, because when you are confused, you cannot stand firm. You question yourself, you doubt your instincts, you second-guess your calling. And a person who does not trust themselves is easily manipulated. This is why protection begins not just with prayer, but with intentional action. Pray over what you wear. Dedicate it to the light. Speak life over it. If you sense resistance, if something feels heavy or wrong, do not ignore it. Remove it. Your intuition is a sacred gift, a compass pointing you toward safety. It is the whisper of the divine saying, "This way, my child, not that way." Consider, too, the time of night. There are hours when darkness is at its strongest, when spirits roam more freely, seeking open doors. Between midnight and 3 a.m., the veil is often at its thinnest. These are the hours when you must be especially vigilant. What you wear during this time matters greatly. Loose garments that invite entanglement, symbols stitched into fabric, even certain fragrances can act as lures. I am not telling you to live in fear. Fear is not your portion. But wisdom is your shield and awareness is your sword. Walk through the night with your head held high, knowing you are covered by light because you have chosen to be intentional about what you bring into those sacred hours. Some of you may be wondering, what does it matter what I wear if my faith is strong? Oh, beloved, faith without wisdom is like a candle placed in the wind. Yes, the flame burns brightly, but how easily it can be extinguished if left unprotected. Your faith is a fortress, but even fortresses have gates. The garments you wear, the symbols you display, these are your gates. Leave them unguarded and you invite what does not belong. This is not about superstition. It is about alignment. The spiritual realm operates on laws and principles whether you believe in them or not. Just as gravity does not cease to exist because you doubt it, spiritual laws remain active. Darkness needs agreement to move in your life. Your choices, even unconscious ones, create that agreement. This is why the enemy seeks subtlety. If he can get you to agree without realizing it, he gains access without resistance. I remember a young woman I once knew. She was radiant, full of promise, yet her nights were filled with torment. No matter what she did, she could not find peace. She prayed, she fasted, she begged for relief, but the shadows persisted. One day, in tears, she confessed that she wore a certain nightgown every evening, a gift from a dear friend. Something in my spirit stirred, and I asked her to bring it to me. As soon as I held it, I felt a heaviness, a darkness clinging to it like smoke. We prayed over it, but the weight remained. Finally, she burned it, releasing whatever had been bound to it. That very night, she slept peacefully for the first time in years. Do you see? It was not her faith that was lacking. It was her understanding. She had been wearing a curse without knowing it, wrapping herself in chains each night and wondering why she could not break free. This is the danger of ignorance. It keeps you bound even when freedom is within reach. So I say to you, examine your life. Look closely at what you wear, especially at night. Ask yourself hard questions. Where did this come from? What does this symbol mean? How did this object enter my life? If you do not know, seek the answer. Do not accept mystery as harmless. The unknown is fertile ground for darkness. And when you find something that stirs unease, do not hesitate. Remove it. Cleanse your space. Replace it with items chosen in light and love. There is no shame in letting go. There is only freedom. And oh, how beautiful that freedom is. To lie down at night without fear, to drift into dreams knowing you are surrounded by protection. That is a gift worth fighting for. And to those who say, but I cannot afford new things. I cannot simply throw away what I have. Hear me clearly, you have the power to cleanse what you already own. Speak life over your garments. Pray over them with intention. Wash them while declaring that every trace of darkness is being removed. There is power in your words, power in your faith. The act of cleansing is not just physical, it is spiritual. When you engage with it intentionally, you are breaking agreements, severing ties, closing doors. Do not underestimate this. Even the simplest actions, when done with awareness, carry great spiritual weight. The night will always come. Darkness will always seek entry. That is its nature. But you, my beloved, are not helpless against it. You are a child of light, a warrior cloaked in divine protection. Every choice you make is a declaration of where you stand. When you choose wisely what you wear, you are declaring to the unseen realm, I am covered by light. I will not be a vessel for darkness. And that declaration carries power. Darkness trembles at it. Demons flee from it. For where there is light, darkness cannot stay. Let your nights become altars of peace. Let your sleep be holy. When you prepare for bed, let it be a ritual of love and protection. Light a candle, speak a blessing. Wrap yourself not just in fabric but in intention. You are sacred. Your body, your spirit, your dreams, they are sacred. Treat them as such. And when the morning comes, rise with the knowledge that you have walked through the night victorious. No shadow can touch you when you are clothed in light. Remember, beloved, you are not just fighting for yourself. You are breaking patterns for generations. The choices you make now ripple forward, shaping the spiritual inheritance of those who come after you. When you choose to remove darkness from your life, you are clearing a path for others to walk in freedom. Your vigilance, your discernment, your willingness to act, it is a legacy of light. So stand firm, be brave. Let your very life be a testament that even in the deepest night, the light always wins. And as you take these words into your heart, do not let them fade. Let them grow roots. Let them guide you. Each night, as you lay your head down, remember you are not alone. The divine watches over you. The light surrounds you. And with every choice you make, you are building a sanctuary where no darkness can dwell. Walk in that truth. Live in that truth. And let your nights be filled not with fear, but with dreams so beautiful they could only come from heaven itself. And still, my dear, there is more to say, because the night is deep, and the heart of this truth runs deeper still. I can feel the stirring in your spirit as you hear these words, a mixture of awakening and unease, because part of you has always known this. Somewhere inside, beneath the noise of the world, beneath the voices that told you to dismiss what you felt, there has always been a quiet knowing. You have felt it when you picked up a certain shirt and your stomach turned for no reason. You have felt it when you placed a ring on your finger and a heaviness settled on your chest. You have felt it when you stepped into a room and the air grew thick, and though you smiled, something inside whispered, leave. That whisper, beloved, is the voice of the divine guiding you, protecting you, urging you to see what the eyes cannot. But too often we silence that voice because it is inconvenient. We tell ourselves we are imagining things. We cling to what is beautiful or sentimental, even when it carries poison in its threads. And in doing so, we open doors that were meant to stay sealed forever. Dark spirits do not storm through the front gates of your life. No, they are too cunning for that. They slip through the cracks. They come clothed in familiarity, disguised as gifts, as heirlooms, as fashion trends, as symbols of status and beauty. They wrap themselves in what you trust, so you will not suspect them. When you wear their snares, especially at night, you give them permission to draw near. And in the darkness, they whisper. They sow seeds of fear, of doubt, of despair. They turn peaceful dreams into nightmares. They steal rest from your body, clarity from your mind, and joy from your spirit. And the most tragic part is that you think it is you. You wake up and say, I must be stressed. I must be broken, I must be weak, never realizing that the battle raging around you is not your fault, nor is it all within you. You are fighting unseen forces, wearing disguises you have invited into your very bed. I want you to picture this with me. Imagine a king asleep in his palace, his guards stationed at every door, swords drawn, ready to defend him. The enemy knows he cannot breach the walls through strength alone, so he hides poison in the king's robes. When the king lays down to rest, the very garment meant to cover him becomes the weapon that destroys him. That is what happens when you wear objects carrying darkness at night. The garment becomes a weapon, the jewelry becomes a chain, the fabric becomes a net, and while you sleep, your spirit is ensnared, your dreams poisoned, your peace shattered. This is why discernment is not optional, it is your armor. Without it, you will mistake the trap for a gift, the curse for a blessing. There is a reason why sacred traditions across the world have always placed significance on garments. Priests and prophets wore specific robes not because they were fashionable, but because they were symbolic, spiritual coverings. Warriors prepared for battle by adorning themselves in armor designed not only for physical protection but spiritual alignment. Even the divine speaks of robes of righteousness, of being clothed in garments of salvation. What covers you matters because it touches not just your skin but your spirit. When you choose carelessly, when you wrap yourself in what carries darkness, you are stepping into a covenant you did not consent to. But in the spiritual realm, ignorance is not an excuse. Agreement is agreement, whether you speak it or wear it. Some of you are still holding on to items you know you should release. I can feel it in my spirit as I speak. There is a necklace you never take off because it belonged to someone you love, even though every time you wear it, you feel a strange heaviness. There is a shirt you wear to bed because it is comfortable, even though your nights have been filled with restless dreams since the day you brought it home. There are shoes you keep tucked away because they are expensive, though every time you put them on, you feel anger rising in you like a tide. Hear me, beloved, not everything sentimental is sacred. Not everything beautiful is blessed. Some things are poison wrapped in silk, curses clothed in gold. And no matter how tightly you cling to them, they will never bring you peace. The longer you hold them, the deeper their roots grow in your life. Release them now, before they take more than you are willing to lose. Do not be surprised when the release feels like grief. We form attachments not only to people, but to objects. That scarf passed down from your grandmother, that ring gifted by an old love, that designer piece you saved for months to buy. These things hold memories, stories, emotions. To let them go can feel like cutting away part of yourself. But I promise you this, the space left behind will not remain empty. When you release what carries darkness, the divine rushes in to fill the void with light, with peace, with blessings you cannot yet imagine. What you let go of in obedience will always be replaced with something far greater. Trust that truth even when your heart aches. I know there are those who fear they will become obsessed, constantly questioning everything they own. That is not the path of wisdom. Wisdom is not paranoia, it is peace. You are not called to live in fear of every thread and trinket, but to walk in awareness. Ask for discernment and you will be guided. You will know. Sometimes it will be a sudden unease when you touch something. Sometimes it will come as a dream, a vision revealing what is hidden. Sometimes it will simply be a quiet thought you cannot shake. Trust these promptings. They are not random. They are gifts. And when you act on them, you will begin to notice the difference immediately. Your nights will grow lighter. Your dreams will become sweeter. Your body will wake feeling truly rested. Peace will return like a long-lost friend knocking at your door. Understand that the enemy does not just seek to torment you while you sleep. He seeks to steal what is birthed in the night. Nighttime is a sacred space where visions are given, where strategies are whispered to your spirit, where healing takes root. If the enemy can disrupt your nights, he can derail your destiny. By wearing objects that attract darkness, you are giving him the very tools he needs to rob you. This is why your protection matters so deeply. You are not just guarding yourself, you are guarding the future, the dreams, the callings that are meant to unfold through you. Every night you sleep in peace is a victory. Every night you wake whole is a declaration that darkness has no hold over you. There are also those who suffer because of the actions of others. A parent who prays over their child with love, yet unknowingly dresses them in clothing marked with symbols of darkness. A partner who gifts their beloved an item purchased from a place steeped in spiritual bondage. These acts are not malicious, but the results are the same. If you have authority in your household, you can break these chains. Speak life over your family, pray over their garments. Cleanse your home with intentional words and actions. When one person stands in the gap, the ripple of their light can cover many. Do not underestimate the power of a single prayer spoken with faith. It can dismantle what generations of darkness have built. And yes, there will be those who scoff. They will call you dramatic, overly spiritual, foolish. Let them. Their laughter cannot diminish your truth. Remember, darkness always tries to convince the light that it is unnecessary. But you will know the difference by the fruit. Look at their lives. Do they sleep peacefully? Do they walk in joy and clarity? Or are they plagued by chaos and confusion, even as they deny the cause? You do not need their approval to walk in freedom. You only need the courage to obey the whisper of the divine within you. As you walk this journey, surround yourself with objects of intentional light. Wear garments that uplift you, that carry prayers and blessings woven into their fibers. Place symbols of protection in your space, not as idols, but as reminders of who you are and whose you are. Fill your environment with beauty that inspires peace rather than chaos. When you do this, you are not just rejecting darkness, you are actively cultivating light. You are creating a sanctuary where your spirit can rest deeply and safely each night. There will come a day when you look back on this moment and see how far you have come. The nightmares that once tormented you will be a distant memory. The heaviness that once sat on your chest will be lifted. You will walk through your home and feel the air alive with peace, with joy, with the presence of the divine. And you will know it began with a single choice, the choice to no longer clothe yourself in darkness. That one decision will ripple through every area of your life, bringing healing not only to you but to everyone connected to you. And when others come to you broken and weary, seeking answers, you will have a story to tell. You will be able to say, I know what it is to walk through the night tormented. I know what it is to wake in fear. But I also know what it is to be free. Your testimony will become a light for others, guiding them out of the shadows. Because, beloved, this is not just about you. Your freedom is a key that unlocks doors for countless others. Your courage to act is a beacon that will lead them home. So tonight, when the sun sinks and the first stars appear, stand before your closet, your jewelry box, your home, and ask for guidance. Listen for the whisper. Feel for the stirring. Be brave enough to release what no longer serves you, no matter how costly, no matter how beautiful. In doing so, you are not losing anything of true value, you are gaining everything: peace, safety, clarity, protection, and the deep, unshakable knowing that when you close your eyes at night, you are wrapped not in darkness, but in light so pure and powerful that no shadow dares to come near. You are sacred, your nights are sacred. Guard them fiercely. Let your very being declare to the unseen realm, I belong to the light. I will not wear darkness. I will not be a vessel for evil. I am covered, I am protected. I am free. And when you rise with the dawn, let the morning find you whole, unbroken, shining with the quiet strength of one who has faced the night and emerged victorious. For that, beloved, is who you are meant to be, not a victim of darkness, but a radiant warrior, clothed forever in the garments of light. And even now, beloved, as I speak these words, I feel the trembling of your spirit, because the truth has begun to shake the foundations of things you thought were safe. It is as if a veil has been lifted from your eyes, and suddenly you are seeing with a deeper sight. Perhaps memories are flooding back to you now, the restless nights when your body lay still but your mind ran through fields of terror, the nights when you woke with tears on your face and no understanding of why, the strange heaviness that met you every morning like a shadow lying beside you in bed. These were not coincidences. These were signs, messages from the unseen realm, warnings from the divine that something was not right. But now you know. Now you are no longer walking blindly through the darkness. Now you are awake. And when a soul awakens, beloved, the entire spiritual realm trembles. But awakenings are never easy. The moment you begin to see, the darkness will fight to make you close your eyes again. It will rise against you in subtle ways, through doubt, through ridicule, through a sudden wave of forgetfulness that convinces you to set aside what you have learned here. It will try to distract you with the noise of the world, drowning out the whisper of your own spirit. This is why you must anchor these truths deep inside your soul, so deeply that no storm can uproot them. Hold them close like sacred fire. Let them burn away every lie you have believed, every chain that has kept you bound. You are stronger than the darkness. You are greater than the fear that seeks to silence you. Do not forget who you are. Understand this: when you lie down to sleep, you are not simply resting your body. You are entering a place of vulnerability and power. Your spirit moves freely while your physical form is still. Dreams are not meaningless. They are journeys, messages, battles, encounters. When you sleep, you are stepping into a realm where intentions matter more than appearances. What covers you, what surrounds you, what you wear, these things are signals to that realm. They declare whether you are protected or exposed, whether you are aligned with light or unknowingly aligned with darkness. You may not speak a word, but the spiritual realm is always listening. The fabric against your skin, the symbols etched into metal or woven into thread, these speak on your behalf. What are they saying? What story are they telling about you while you sleep? So many people live in torment because they have given permission without knowing it. They have worn garments passed down through generations, never realizing those garments carry the residue of old curses, old grief, old sins that were never broken. They have accepted gifts from hands that smile but hearts that hate, never questioning the true intention behind them. They have followed fashion trends blindly, wearing designs rooted in occult practices because they looked beautiful under the bright lights of a store window. And then they wonder why their peace has fled, why their nights are filled with shadows, why they wake each morning feeling more broken than before they laid their head down. Beloved, the darkness hides in what is familiar. It waits in the objects you hold dear, hoping you will never look closely enough to see it. But tonight you will see. Tonight you will know. There is a power in taking back your authority. When you stand in your home, in your bedroom, and declare, "Nothing of darkness shall remain here," you are not merely speaking words, you are shifting realms. You are drawing a line that the enemy cannot cross. And when you act on those words by removing what carries darkness, you are breaking agreements that have bound your life in unseen ways. I have seen entire atmospheres change when a single cursed object was destroyed. I have seen children sleep peacefully for the first time after a parent removed an item that had been quietly opening doors to torment night after night. Do not underestimate the impact of what seems small. The spiritual realm magnifies the small. A single thread can unravel a tapestry. A single act of obedience can release a flood of freedom. Some of you are feeling resistance even now as you think of certain items. Perhaps there is a voice whispering, "Don't let it go. It's harmless. You're overreacting." That is not your voice, beloved. That is the darkness fighting to keep its hold. Pay attention to what you feel when you touch these objects. Does it bring peace or unrest? Lightness or heaviness? Joy or fear? The truth is always revealed in the fruit. If an object consistently brings confusion, heaviness, or torment, it is not aligned with the divine. Do not rationalize it. Do not bargain with it. Darkness thrives in compromise. Rip it out at the root and do not look back. The enemy will always try to convince you to keep a piece of the chain, but even a fragment can bind you. And yes, it will hurt to let go. The flesh clings to what is familiar even when it is toxic. There will be moments when you question your own strength, moments when you wonder if you have made a mistake. But on the other side of that release is a freedom so profound, so complete, that you will wonder why you ever hesitated. Imagine sleeping through the night without waking in terror. Imagine rising each morning with a heart unburdened, with dreams that bring clarity instead of confusion. Imagine living in a home where every corner feels alive with peace instead of tension. This is not just a dream, it is your birthright. It is what you were created for, but you must choose it. No one else can choose it for you. Let us speak now of symbols, for they are the language of the unseen. A symbol is never just a design, it is a declaration, a doorway, a key. Throughout history, the forces of light and darkness have used symbols to communicate and to claim territory. When you wear a symbol, you are not simply displaying art, you are aligning yourself with whatever that symbol represents. Some symbols are ancient, their meanings forgotten by most, But the spiritual realm has not forgotten. The demons and angels still know. They still respond. This is why certain logos and patterns seem harmless to the world, because great unrest in the spirit. Be vigilant. Do not allow ignorance to be your downfall. Research what you wear. Ask questions. And if you feel even a whisper of unease, trust it. Your spirit often knows what your mind has not yet discovered. There are colors, too, that carry spiritual weight. This is not to say that any color is inherently evil. Light created them all. But certain shades, when used with specific intentions, can amplify darkness or light. Deep blacks and reds have been used in rituals for centuries because of their power to conceal or to provoke. When worn at night, they can act as magnets if combined with cursed objects or environments. Again, this is not about living in fear, it is about awareness. If you are wrapped in darkness from head to toe and lying in a room filled with unclean energies, you are creating an open invitation. Balance your colors with prayerful intention. Speak blessings over them. Turn what could be a snare into a shield through the power of your words. I must also speak of inherited objects, for these are often the most difficult to discern. A ring from a grandmother, a quilt stitched by an ancestor, a book passed down through generations. These things carry not only memories but spiritual residue. If your family has a history of trauma, addiction, or brokenness, those patterns can cling to physical objects like dust to fabric. When you bring those objects into your home, you are also bringing in the spiritual weight of those histories. This does not mean you must discard every heirloom. It means you must cleanse them, pray over them, dedicate them to the light. If peace does not come even after cleansing, release them completely. The past must not be allowed to dictate your present or your future. Consider, too, the environments where your garments are purchased. There are places in this world where entire businesses are dedicated to dark practices, where every item sold has been intentionally marked with spiritual energies. When you buy from these places, you are bringing those energies into your life. This is why discernment must extend even to where you shop. If you walk into a store and feel a heaviness in your spirit, trust it. That heaviness is a message. Leave and do not return. There are countless sources of clothing and adornment in this world. Choose those aligned with light, even if it requires sacrifice or patience. Your peace is worth far more than any bargain or brand name. As you walk this path of awareness, there will be nights when the darkness tries to fight back. Do not be afraid. Fear is its greatest weapon, but it has no true power over you unless you surrender to it. Stand firm. Speak truth aloud. Declare that you are covered, that you are protected, that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Words are not just sounds, they are swords. When spoken with faith, they cut through the lies of the enemy and establish light in the atmosphere. Fill your nights with these declarations. Let them echo through your home like music, like fire, like thunder that shakes the very walls of darkness. And when the morning comes, step into the day with gratitude. Give thanks for the battles you did not see but were fought on your behalf. Give thanks for the angels that surrounded you as you slept, for the divine presence that never left your side. Gratitude is a shield of its own, a light that repels darkness before it can even draw near. When you live in thankfulness, you become a fortress that cannot be easily breached. Your very presence becomes a declaration of victory. I see you now, beloved, standing tall in the truth you have received. I see the chains falling from your life, one by one, as you choose to walk in awareness and authority. I see the generations behind you healed by your courage, the generations ahead of you protected by your choices. You are not merely saving yourself, you are altering the course of your entire lineage. What was meant to destroy you will become the very thing that empowers you. The darkness that once hunted you will flee at the sound of your voice. This is your destiny. This is your calling. And so, as you prepare for the night ahead, do so with reverence and strength. Let every action be intentional. When you choose what to wear, choose it with prayer. When you lay your head down, speak blessings over your dreams. When you rise in the morning, step into the light with boldness, knowing you have walked through the shadows and emerged unbroken. You are a warrior of the unseen realm, a guardian of sacred nights. Never again will you be clothed in darkness. Never again will you be prey to forces you cannot see. From this moment on, you are clothed in light, in wisdom, in unshakable peace. And no spirit, no shadow, no whisper of evil can take that from you. So let the darkness rage. Let it send its storms and its lies. You will stand and you will shine. You will walk through every night like a torch carried high, a living testimony that the light always wins. And when others see you, they will be inspired to seek their own freedom. Your very life will be a song, a prayer, a battle cry that echoes through eternity. I am free. I am covered. I am light. And the heavens will rejoice, for one soul awakened is a victory that shakes the universe. This is who you are, beloved. This is who you have always been. Step into it now and never ever look back.